Hi chums. Right, we're doing a wee tour in here. I've been really busy getting a lot of stuff done, and I want to bring you into the first part now. Just to remind you, when you walked into this garage, the left hand side was just like a wee track a cat could go down. There's a table and a whole load of crap stored there. The right hand side is still pretty well full, but I've got the left hand side pretty well sorted out, and I've got the new part nearly finished as well. So I'll show you what I've done, okay? So just bear with me. I'm going to have to move this camera down slightly for the next bit, because I know what's going to happen, you see. So I have to bring this in. So I'll bring a tripod in and I'll show you this now. You'll see here as we go in, you can see we're coming into the garage now. I'm just getting the tripod through the space here. Oh God, excuse me, it's not working the way it didn't. This is not working like it did when I practiced it. So I'll just leave a tripod there. Okay, that's okay. So you can see here that this has all been cleared out now. And if I bring the camera down a wee bit and just pan round, you can see there's the shelves and then the wee fire beside us here. And then that was where there was a whole load of stuff stored up there, you know. There's a table in here and a whole load of stuff stored on it. And then if you look over at the workbench, you can see that the workbench is pretty well cleared off there. So I'm happy with that. But I want to show you a couple of things here just that I came across. But I use them out here all the time. It's just some of the consideration we get as when you're labelled disabled in Ireland. No, this is where it happens, or in the UK, this is what happens. I've got spinal problems. I broke my back and I've broken my neck several times, and I've got ankylosing spondylitis when my bones are all fusing together. So I've a lot of spinal issues. So whenever I was finally diagnosed with all this stuff, they gave me this sort of stuff here. There's a wee chair. We call this a perching chair, and it just can be set to whatever height you want it there. You can see in the legs, and it's a really comfortable wee thing to sit on. And what they're designed for is if you want to do some work, it means you can stand up where you're working, and if you have to, you can just sit down and keep working, and then give yourself a bit of a break. They're a great wee chair. I use that one quite a bit. And there's another one here, a perching stool. This is what it's called. And as you can see, it folds up really flat, but it comes in real slow like that, real low, and then it just opens up into a wee chair. And once again, it's just somewhere to set your backside if you get tired, you know. So they're a really good job, and they've saved me a lot of hassle over the years, I can tell you. But I get those free from the Department of Health. They just arrived out here with them and gave them to me. You're entitled to these, you know. So I'm going to move you over here a bit because I've got something to ask you about. I was talking to the boys on Zoom about this last night, so I want to ask you as well. These here, battery drills, okay. I've got these drills here. They're AEG, and they're really good drills. I need to turn this around. They're a really good drill, but my problem is the batteries are not holding a charge anymore. The charger's working fine, but the batteries aren't holding a charge very long, and they do work. And then I got this one here. Michael got me this at a really good price, and it's a super tool. It works well, but once again, it sucks the batteries dry. And I have another one here. Now they're 18 volt, a new battery, one of these here, £90, about $150 for one of these here. So my problem is, where do I go with this? Do I buy a pair of DeWalt's and throw those in the bin? Or do I get reconditioned batteries? Or what can be done, you know? It seemed a shame to dump tools that are perfectly good. And I don't use those a lot, you know? They're not like a lift them every 5 minutes and use them like a lot of people would. They're a handy tool to have, but it's hard to justify going out and spending 300 or 400 quid and DeWalt stuff, you know. So that's where I am anyway, you know, or Makita or whatever it would be, you know. But when I've got these three bodies that are working, it seems a shame to go out and buy new stuff when I just need batteries, you know. Bob showed me a thing last night where you can get battery converters to convert an AEG to a DeWalt and vice versa. But my problem is I need batteries. I've only got the one type of battery, so I need new batteries. Right, so I'm going to bring you around into the other part here and show you it. I'm trying to tie in with Dermot here. Dermot's making coffee, and it's beautiful coffee, and I don't want to miss it, you know? I don't want to get cold. Right, so we're heading in here, and I'm going to do a rat race here because I haven't got this bit cleaned up yet. But we're coming into the new part now, and you will see a difference here. So there we are. So as you can see now, We've got in here, we've got a bench here. Now this is working out well because I put that up there. I didn't like losing that space because there's going to be a vise put in here. You know, I need to just turn my wee camera around here. There's going to be a vise go in here, along here with dog holes. But I can always slide this out of the way if I need to. But what I'm doing is, as I'm finding things, I'm putting them into drawers so that I know I've got them. Like there's wee diamond sharpeners, and there's a tool. I don't even know what that tool is. That there, it's like some sort of like a depth gauge or something, you know. I don't even know what that is, but I had to have it, you know. So the things I got there, found, you know. And what I'm doing is, as I find things, there's a jeweler's rouge or whatever you call it for looking at edge. Well, actually, Jim Stevenson in our guild got me to recommend me getting one of these for looking at real small stuff, you know, to get you into a jeweler's rouge, I think it's called. And it's for looking at diamonds and stuff, you know. And I haven't got a lot of diamonds to look at, but it's good fun when you look at an edge, you think it's sharp, and you look at it, it's like the Rocky Mountains profile, you know. And things like that, where I'm finding stuff, like there's stuff I haven't even opened that I had, you know. That's all Parkside, that's cheapy Germany stuff, Parkside, Aldi, little stuff, but it does my job the very best, you know. I'm not putting abuse and stuff. And then chisels, brand new chisels, never out of the box, things like that. Instead of, there's 5 files, never out of the box. So things like that, you know. There's something there. I bought that 40 years ago. I bought that sharpening stone with the intention of making a box where I could put it in, turn the box over, and get 2 different sides. 40 years ago, and it's still sitting in the paper bag, you know, a paper thing. Right, so we'll turn around this way now. See what's going on. So we'll go along the bench, and there's the wee lathe, the small jet lathe. I got a real good deal in that, so I bought it, and I don't need a third lathe, but it's really nice to have it. I'm going to dedicate that to pens. One of the things about making pens is you have to, I feel I have to make a lot of pens at one go for the sake of setting up the lathe to make pens. You're better to do a whole lot than do one, you know. And if I just come back a wee bit here, let you see underneath here, I'll practically point the camera down. If we look down below there, you can see that I've got stuff on trolleys there. And it means that what I can do is, there's a thing I use for pressing pens together. So I can just pull things out as I need them, you know, and pull them back in. And I've got a grinder, and I've got a small 1-inch grinder and a spindle grinder there, a spindle sander there. So that's good, you know. So everything's getting a place to go to, you know. These are IKEA. Those little things there are 2 IKEA things. They're full of pen stuff, project stuff, things like inserts, glass inserts for tea light stuff like that there. And then if we look over here, we have the bandsaw. That's not going to stay there. That dust thing is not going to stay there. And if you look up here, we have the remote control stuck in the air filter, because I know where it is then. I got that up last night, just put up with big strong cable ties, and it did the job the very best, you know. So then we come across again here. I've got the lathe here opened up, and I'll just lift this and come round to the knob bit. I'll show you. Whoops, it isn't. I've got this lathe. What I did was I had covers. Bob got me covers for the lathe that using bicycles or motorbikes, and they're great in here in Ireland in the damp. But in the summertime, if they're on during the summer and you get hot, you start getting condensation underneath them. So I take them off in the summer and leave the lathes out. It also means I'm more inclined to actually use a thing. But there's the thing. There's a guy, Carl, gave me this. It's a medical lamp, as a doctor would use for looking down your throat. You know, if you want to see down somebody's throat, you use that boy there. All that needed was a bulb inside it, and you see down here on the neck that was broken there. So I got a piece of plastic conduit, and I split it with one of them multi-tools, and I just squeeze it round and then put black insulating tape on. It's as hard as a rock. So now I've got a dedicated light. Those are hundreds and hundreds of pounds because they're medical equipment, so they're really expensive. So thank you, Carl. I got it fixed eventually, you know. And of course Carl's supposed to come here. He's involved with the North Down chapter of the Irish Woodturners Guild, and it never got up then with the coronavirus and stuff. And this is my first lathe. If I was to keep one lathe, I'd keep this one here. It's a real good MIDI lathe. But the thing about it is that I changed that to 3-phase from, it had that thing in the front, the handle, where you do the 7 speeds. So I changed that to variable speed. I got up there you can see the variable speed, what do you call that thing there? It's called the strong inverter, and it's a 3-phase motor on it now. My mate Kieran's an engineer, and he did the transfer for me, and it's made a good lathe into a really superb lathe, you know. So I'm all ready to go. I've been doing a bit of turning, which is good. I've got that there, is hopefully going to become, at the bottom there, it's going to become a cremation urn for a Nan who asked me to make one for her. Now she's not going to die, hopefully, for a long while yet, but it's something I meant to do, and I don't want to have to do it before when she dies. I'd rather be able to give it to her as an ornament. And I've got an idea, which I'm not going to tell you about the neck of it, but I've got an idea for how to display it without it looking like an urn. So that'll be everything I show when I do it, okay? So that's where we are, folks. I'm very happy with the way things are going. I might have to lift that up a wee bit, or just do that there, and we should be okay. I'm very happy with the way things have gone, and I've got my filter up. That's a 6'5" now, so there's no chance. I'm only 6'1" now, so there's no chance of me hitting that, you know. And so that's good. The only one is William. When he comes in, I'll have to warn him not to hit his head on it, but he's not here very often. If it comes to a bit, I can move it across another 18 inches, but just where it is, it catches the dirt from all the layers really well, or the dust, so it's hopefully work out all right, you know. So that's where I am. I've been really busy. That's why you haven't seen many videos from me. But I've got myself now where I've got this workshop is sorted, basically. I've got everything out of there that I need in here. But now I end up, my next project is starting tomorrow, and it's going to be in here. And as you can see, that is a nightmare in there. There's loads of stuff in there to come out. There's a lot of stuff can be dumped. One of the big problems we're having here at the moment is the fact that we can't get to the dump to get rid of stuff, you know. The dumps are all closed. So, and there's boys going around here, they're charging people 40 or 50 quid to take away a trailer load of dirt or rubbish and then dump it on the side of the road, down the road a bit, you know. So hopefully that's been knocked on the head since it's gone sort of alerted on Facebook and stuff, you know. So I say, so this is the next bit here, is getting the wood sorted out. So I'm going to have to do something in here. I'm going to try and put shelves along the top there where I can store wood up above in that sort of dead area. So I have to work out how to do that. And if I get wood up there, that'll clear a lot of stuff out here. And then we can get at the table saw. And I've talked to Stephen about that. There might be changes in that one, you know. Okay, so that's where we are, folks. As I say, it's been busy. The progress has been slow, but it has been good quality progress, because as I've done things, I've found a place for them and put them away. The next thing will be labelling all the drawers and stuff to make sure I know what's in every drawer and not be having to hook about looking for stuff, you know. So there we are. So I hope you're all feeling grand. I hope you're doing okay with this coronavirus thing. It's hard going. I'm not suffering at all. Not at all. I'm not allowed out of the house, but that's a small price to pay. There are people who are paying a huge price compared to me. I have no complaints whatsoever. I'm very, very lucky to be in the situation I'm in, you know. So as far as my life changing, it's changed very little. I don't go out on a Tuesday night, and I don't call over to see my mates on a Friday night, and that's basically it, you know. So there hasn't been a huge change in my life at all. So I'm very fortunate. But I hope the rest of you are doing okay and staying safe, and that it won't be any more spikes, you know. It's bad. Anyway, all the best now. Stay safe, and thanks very much for watching. All the best now. Bye bye. I'm trying to find the off button now.